Colton Witt here for the Colt and Steve Show. Happy to be with you today. It is Veterans Day, folks, and we're very happy to be with you on this Veterans Day. We would like to give a big shout-out and thank you to all the veteran listeners of this program and just veterans in general. Done so much for us, and they've given us a country, given us a great country, and they've given us freedom. And we thank them so much for that. But, Bryson, how you doing today?
Pretty good, dang it.
What's going on there? Pretty good, dang it.
Hey, whenever someone asks me if I'm free, it's like, you bet your bottom dollar I am. I live in America, dang it.
Yeah, that's real nice, Bryson. Yes, you are free. We're all free. We're very happy to be free.
They're asking me if I can go somewhere. Are you free?
Yeah. Oh, are you free? You said
I'm always free.
Yeah, I'm always free. I'm wide open. I live in America.
That's right.
But anyways, folks, very happy to be with you. This is episode number 64. November the 11th. I was waiting for Bryson to jump in there with
64. Kind of like former offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, Randall Daniel. Wait. Pretty sure it's Randall Daniel.
Randall Daniels. Don't know anything about him.
Randall McDaniel.
Randall McDaniel.
He played for the Vikings between 1988 and 1999. He was a 12-time Pro Bowler, and a former quarterback of his said he was the best to ever play his position in offensive line. He was inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but I'm sure he is.
Very cool. Okay. Anyways, let me get our little stuff, all this nonsense out of the way before we get moving. We're recording out of the Austin Acres Christmas Tree Farm. It's not nonsense. You know what I'm saying, all right? I love Dan. I love the whole business over there. I have nothing but good things to say. You know that was not something negative against the tree farm.
It's probably not a good thing to say nonsense right before.
You're right. It wasn't good choice of words. But anyways,
choice of words.
Yeah, let's stop there, Bryson. But anyways, Austin Acres Christmas Tree Farm Studios. Go on.
Can't even talk
I can't talk.
It's Austin Acres Christmas Tree Farm.
I tried to say it too fast. No, but going down there, they got some great Christmas trees. I mean, look, we told you to get one early, and if you hadn't done it, well, sorry, you're just going to have to get one on time because they should be opening up a couple weeks or so as soon as Thanksgiving's over. Christmas season is officially begun.
Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday we're opening up shop.
Yeah, even though some people have tried to tell you Christmas season's already started, there are radio stations where we live that are playing Christmas music nonstop on November 1st. They're doing it right now. It's crazy. But let's get on track here, Bryson. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into the stories today. I feel like we got a lot to talk about, a lot here. Obviously, last night was the Republican debate. Bryson didn't watch it. I watched part of it. No, I did. I did watch about half of it. I'll say this: we're gonna talk about. There was so much, and I didn't get to see all of it. One part I did get to see was a very big key moment in the debate, and it was pretty much the contrast of the 2 points of views, very well articulated. You have John Kasich and Jeb Bush over here with the pro-amnesty side, with the pro-amnesty plan and about how you can't hurt the families. Then you got Trump and Ted Cruz on the other side talking about how we got to enforce the law and it's not anti-immigrant and all this stuff like that. Now I'm gonna read. What I'm gonna do is I printed off a few pages of the transcript of the whole debate, the whole Republican debate. And I'm going to read some parts I highlighted here from the discussion that starts with Maria Bartiromo asking a question of Donald Trump. She said, Mr. Trump, a federal appeals court just dealt a blow to the Obama administration's plan to prevent the deportation of 5 million people living in this country illegally. And then she goes, what will you do about it? And Trump says, I was so happy yesterday when I saw the decision come down. He goes, that was a great day, and frankly, we have to stop illegal immigration. It's hurting us economically. It's hurting us from every standpoint. And I will tell you, we are a country of laws. We need borders. We will have a wall. The wall will be built. The wall will be successful. And if you think walls don't work, all you have to do is ask Israel. The wall works. Believe me, properly done, believe me. Clapping and cheering, and then we get to Bartiromo, can we just send 5 million people back? And he says, you're going to have to bring people in and all this stuff. And then she goes, what will you do? And Trump goes, we're a country of laws. We either have a country or we don't have a country. We are a country of laws going back. They're going to have to go out, and they will come back, but they are going to have to go out, and hopefully they get back. Now, Kasich, he's a little bit of a weasel. I'll just tell you that now. Sure. He goes about. He starts talking. We need to control the border, just like the people have to control who goes in and out of their house. But if people think we are going to ship 11 million people who are law-abiding, who are in this country, and somehow pick them up at their house, ship them to Mexico, think about the families. Think about the children.
John Kasich, yes. He always uses a instigation type of tactic.
Yeah,
he likes to jump in there and start just like
yelling.
When someone says something, he's just like, "Well, this is what's ridiculous about this person."
I tell you, it's a loser.
And then he'll be propped up on his podium and then tilting
interrupting,
one way, and then yelling at a different way at the audience.
Yeah.
And you're like, "What are you doing?"
Hold on, I gotta read this, Bryson. Hold on a second.
Read it. Do it right now.
So you know what he says? Well, you know what the real answer is? If they have been law-abiding, they pay a penalty. They get to stay. We protect the wall. Anybody else comes over, they go back. But come on, folks, we can't deport 11 million people. It's silly. It's not an adult argument. It doesn't make sense. Well, then Trump, in classic Trump form, says, all I can say is, you're lucky in Ohio that you struck oil. That's for one thing. And then he goes, let me just tell you that Dwight Eisenhower, good president, great president, people liked him. I like Ike, right? The expression, I like Ike, moved the 1.5 million illegal immigrants out of this country. Moved them just beyond the border. They came back. Moved them again beyond the border. They came back again. Didn't like them. Moved them didn't like it. Moved them way south. They never came back. Dwight Eisenhower, you don't get nicer. You don't get friendlier. They moved a 1.5 million people out. We have no choice. We have no choice. And then, one of the moderators says something to Governor Bush. Kasich keeps yelling, and people are going all over the place. Then, and then Trump goes, "You should let Jeb speak." And then everybody's bickering, and then finally, after Kasich says a few things, he talks about how great a job he did in his state with his economy and how wonderful everything is, and then criticizes Trump. Then Trump, of course, goes, I built an unbelievable company worth billions and billions of dollars. I don't have to hear. Yes, yeah. I don't have to hear from this man. Believe me, I don't have to hear from him. And then the moderator goes, Mr. Trump, you yourself said let Governor Bush speak. Governor Bush, then Jeb Bush, and trying to be funny and a smart aleck, goes, thank you, Donald, for allowing me to speak at the debate. That's really nice of you. Really appreciate that. And, everybody kind of laughed or whatever. Then, all right, let's get to it. I know this is taking a while, folks, but just bear with me. Jeb Bush goes, what a generous man you are, Donald. 12 million illegal immigrants, to send them back, 500,000 a month. It's just not possible. And it's not embracing American values. And it would tear communities apart. And it would send a signal that we're not the kind of country that I know America is. And even having this conversation sends a powerful signal. They're doing high fives in the Clinton campaign right now when they hear this. That's the problem with this. We have to win the presidency. And the way you win the presidency is to have practical plans. Well, finally, Trump goes, look, we have millions of people right now online trying to come into this country. Very unfair to the people that want to come into our country legally. They've gone through the process. They're online. They're waiting. Very, very unfair to them. That I can tell you. He says that a lot. That I can tell you. Now, let's get to Ted Cruz, because this is where he just knocked it out of the park.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. You want to read this as Ted Cruz, Bryson?
Sure.
Yeah, but try to be articulate here.
Everything that's highlighted right here?
Everything's highlighted.
I want to go back to the discussion we had a minute ago because, what was said was right. The Democrats are laughing because if Republicans join Democrats as the party of amnesty, we will lose. And I understand that when the mainstream media covers immigration, it doesn't often see it as an economic issue. But I can tell you for millions of Americans at home watching this, it is a very personal economic issue. And I will say the politics of it will be very, very different if a bunch of lawyers or bankers were crossing the Rio Grande.
And you got to get to the next part quick.
Or if a bunch of people with journalism degrees were coming over and driving down the wages in the press.
And then everybody's going crazy. Whoa, yeah! And then get the next point.
Then we would see stories about the economic calamity that is befalling our nation. And I will say, for those of us who believe people ought to come to this country legally and we should enforce the law, we're tired of being told it's anti-immigrant. It's offensive. I'm the son of an immigrant who came legally from Cuba to seek the American dream, and we can embrace legal immigration while believing in the rule of law. And I would note, try going illegally to another country. Try going to China or Japan. Try going to Mexico. See what they do. Every sovereign nation secures its borders.
And I tell you, that was great. Now, Bryson, we heard folks. You've heard the whole little thing there on illegal immigration last night. That's pretty much all that there was to hear. Now, Bryson, what do you think about this discussion on immigration? Who do you think made the best points, and how do you feel about what was said?
I mean, I think they really didn't say anything that I didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't say anything new.
Yeah,
but
they just kind of tried. They're kind of just trying to win an argument among the other candidates, basically.
Yes.
And I thought, I mean, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump are basically trying to say the same thing, but I think Ted Cruz obviously said it. He was very more well said when he was talking about it. And Donald Trump, he's definitely not as well at articulating something that he wants to express.
He just says it. I mean, he just says it.
It's just the first thing that pops into his mind when he's asked a question.
He's got his key points. He doesn't necessarily.
He's got his hands all over the place.
Yeah, he's not somebody I think uses a lot of illustrations. But I will. Yeah, he just says just some facts. And the thing, but Ted Cruz was great in his whole little relating it to journalists. And obviously, there's this big riff between the media and the Republicans, really mainly the conservatives and the media, because the conservatives, they believe there's a big left-wing bias in the media, where everybody on the left, they think, oh, the news is the news, but there's this big evil corporation called Fox News that is corrupting the entire journalism field, and it's evil and all this stuff. So they think that's that's where the crony journalism, where really it is on the other side. But as far as the immigration thing, as far as what was said, I think it really exposed John Kasich and Jeb Bush, but Kasich especially, as a moron. Or not necessarily a moron. He obviously believes some decent things, but the guy is just, I don't know, he feels like a complete politician. And I've heard the argument made many times as far as this debate.
He is a complete politician.
And like all of it is just trying to take others down and try to bring people in. And maybe that's what debates are supposed to be, but I feel like it should be about articulating yourself the best way you can and showing people why they should vote for you instead of showing people why they shouldn't vote for the other candidates. Because you should be good enough where you shouldn't have to go after somebody else. You should be good enough that people just see you and say, I want that man as my president. And that's how it is with Ted Cruz, Rubio, maybe even Trump, because he's a counterpuncher. He isn't the guy who always starts the fight. He just joins the fight. But especially Ted Cruz and Rubio, they don't start these fights, or they don't really join them. They just say what they believe. And people are beginning to jump aboard their campaigns or are beginning to support them in greater numbers. I think that's really great what's happening with Cruz and Rubio, especially Cruz, because I feel like he's the best conservative candidate in this race and stands for what, especially folks like us in our audience. You folks, I know most of you in the audience are conservatives and Christians and all that, and I think Ted Cruz represents that the best. Now, that's not an endorsement here from the show. Don't worry about that. But I do really like Ted Cruz, and I think he's the best conservative candidate that we have. And he really looked good in that debate last night.
Yeah, Marco Rubio, he always has good performances, but sometimes he can seem a little over, like, too rehearsed.
A little bit. But the thing is, even though when he does say something rehearsed, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely
everything he says is very well said.
Yeah, he's kind of like, and I don't know if it was Jeb, but somebody said that he was the Republicans' Obama. I think it might have been Jeb Bush or whatever. And but I can kind of see